Welcome back. And new tonight, DeKalb County Police have launched an internal investigation after a transgender woman says an officer confronted her for using the women's bathroom. She says this happened 2 weeks ago at a county public library in Tucker. And tonight, DeKalb County's top official is calling this a, quote, teachable moment. Earlier, I spoke with the woman at the center of the controversy.
I use the restroom, the women's restroom, like I have been for months, if not years, never had any issues.
Sarah Swinson is a regular at the Tucker Reed Kofer Library. She says after she used the ladies' room on October 20th, a DeKalb police officer on hand for early voting confronted her.
He says, "Excuse me, sir," so misgendering me right away. "You're not a woman, that's obvious."
Swinson says she tried explaining to the officer that she's a transgender woman, but he got angry.
"This is a police matter. There are women and little girls in there, and I have to protect them."
She says it ended up causing a scene in the middle of the library, and she tried to de-escalate.
Finally, I just nodded, and he walked off, and I was very thankful.
The next day, she emailed library staff, who she says reached out to DeKalb County Police.
The library filed the complaint on my behalf.
There aren't any Georgia laws banning transgender people from using bathrooms aligning with their gender identity. DeKalb PD says its internal affairs unit is actively investigating the incident, but offering few details. A spokesperson said the department, quote, remains dedicated to treating all members of our community with dignity, respect, and professionalism.
Look. Man, this is a touchy subject, but we got to talk about it. If you're a transgender, that's what you want to do. That's your choice. But I do not believe that a man should be going into a restroom with women. And especially these same restrooms that have little girls. I have daughters. Ain't no way I'm letting a transgender woman go into the restroom with my daughters. Impossible. Not doing that. I do not hate transgender. I do not have a problem with transgender. I do not say that they shouldn't be among us. I would just say you're not going into the restroom where little girls can go. I believe that if you are a transgender, there needs to be transgender bathrooms. Just like we have male bathrooms, we have female bathrooms, and we can have transgenders bathrooms. But I do not believe in a man dressed up as a woman and claiming that he is a woman going into a restroom where little girls can go. And women can go. Our country needs to protect the women and the kids. I am not hating transgender. I don't understand it, why you want to do that, but that's what you want to do. That is your business. But I do not believe that a man should be going into a restroom where little girls and other women can go, because you're still a man. You're still stronger than a man. You can still sexually assault a woman and a little girl. So this is why we have separate bathrooms. So I am in favor of transgenders having their own restrooms. Just like how we have the men, women, and family restrooms, that we can have a all gender or transgender bathroom where it can say that on there. So nobody's mixed up. But I would not let my daughters go into a restroom where a man is dressed up as a woman goes in there before them. Absolutely not. We have to, as men, protect our women and our kids. If you want to be a transgender, if you want to do that, that is your prerogative. I do not hate you. You're still a child of God. You're still figuring it out. That's on you. But I do not believe that we should share bathrooms with little girls and women that they can go to. If you are a man, you either need to go to the man's bathroom or you need to go to the transgender bathroom. I am a father of 2 daughters. That's not happening on my watch. That's not happening on my wife's watch. That's not happening on anybody around my kids' watch. We are not going to do that. That is not how we roll. So we as men have to be stronger than this. We as men, we shouldn't be talking about this officer and saying this is bad. We should be applauding him because he's protecting our women and kids. Our job as men is to protect the women and kids. If we can't protect them, then what are we on this earth for? But this is ridiculous. To file a complaint on an officer for protecting the women and the little girls in this world. So I feel very strongly about this. Like I said, I have no problem with you being a transgender. If that's what you want to be, That's what you want to be. But you would not be going into a restroom with women and little girls go on my watch. Not when my daughters are going in there. We're not doing that. Don't hate them. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. I don't understand them. But if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. That's a life you want to live. That's a life where you want to live. But you don't get special circumstances just because you're a transgender. Let's create it, make it equal. Just like the transgenders that the males want to play female sports. Absolutely wrong. Have a transgender section for sports then. All the transgenders can play in a sport together. Just like how we have male sports, female sports, we should not be mixing it up. That is called cheating. That is sending the wrong representation to our kids. If you guys want to have your sports, you guys want to play sports, then you should have a transgender league. There's no problem with that. Do not believe that a man dressed up as a woman should be playing women's sports. Because the funny thing is, we don't see women dressing up playing men's sports. It's only the men that can't compete. They say they're a woman and to play in women's sports so they can win. That's all it is. All it is a man that can't compete with real men, so he has to say, I'm transgender, so he can compete with girls to win. Where's the parents at that's in charge of that child to tell that child, you have to roll with the men. If you want to be the best, you have to beat other men. This is when it comes down to parenting. This is when it comes down to parenting. A lot of these people that do that, I don't want to say they're lost, but there's nobody around them to show them what it's like to be a man. What is a man? But we can't have these transgender people, but you are still a person. You are still a child of God, no matter what you say, no matter what you believe. But that does not mean you get special permissions to do whatever the hell you want. That's what people are doing. They're doing wherever the hell they want, and they're saying, I'm transgender. Let me do what I want to do. That's wrong. That's a mistreatment of the system. But there's no way in hell that a transgender man or a transgender woman is going to go in a restroom with my little girls or my wife or my mother-in-law or my mom is going into. Absolutely not. It's ridiculous.
I'm not mad at anybody, more than anything. I'm just overwhelmed by the support I've gotten from people.
Amid a passionate nationwide debate over where and when transgender people can use bathrooms, locker rooms, and play on sports teams aligning with their identity, Swinson looks at it this way.
I'm not looking for this guy to be fired. I'm not looking for him, to be really punished in any way. I just hope that this is an opportunity for education.
And I asked DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson about all of this. She told us the county supports the LGBTQ community, calling this a teachable moment. She says as a result, they'll be looking at their training, curriculum, and laws and policies on the books. The county further clarified their official position is for library patrons to use whichever bathroom aligns with their gender identity. And now tonight, to a legal win for the White House.
This is crazy, but we have to have people to step up. We have to have people to know the difference between right and wrong. It's not what you identify as, it's what you are. Okay? Let's keep it simple, right? It's not what you identify as, it's what you were born. It's what you have. Let's just keep it like that. This is confusing the kids. This is messing it up for the kids. The kids don't understand, they see this and they're confused. But that's not what this world is doing. Is really messing up the kids. What is a kid supposed to think if a man dressed up as a woman goes into the women's bathroom? You're confusing the kids. You're taking out the masculinity, the view of masculinity from kids. This is why the world is messed up in America. Because nobody knows what masculinity is in America. And if you are masculine, you're called a bully. You're called a jackass. You're called mean. You don't have respect for people's feelings. Bring the masculinity back. Bring the simple way back. 1 + 1 = 2. Like I said, I have no problem with transgender. I just don't understand it. But what it is messing up the kids. It's not what you identify as. It's what you are born with. Let's just keep it simple. If you're born with a penis, then go to the men's bathroom. You can still be dressed up as a female and go to the men's bathroom. Nobody's gonna judge you. But there's no way you're born with a penis and you have a penis. You should be going into the women's bathroom because you identify as a female. It makes no sense to me. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying that they got issues, they got problems. I'm just saying that let's just keep it simple. Let's just go to the right bathrooms because you have the right parts. Let's protect our women and our young little girls. Because some of these people that are transgender are not really being transgender for the right reasons, if there are any, but they're being a transgender to be perverts, to look at little women, to look at little girls. What's the point of having a male and female bathroom then? We should just have everybody goes into the bathroom together. Let's just have an open bathroom. So now everybody can see each other and do whatever. There's no privacy. Now at least it'd be safer. You see what I'm saying? But this right here, man, as a nation, we need to stand up and say, we don't hate you. We may not understand you, but we'll give you your own. We'll have 3 bathrooms instead of 2. So you have a bathroom where you can go to because you identify as a transgender. You don't identify as a woman. So you're either a man, woman, or transgender, and you will have your own. That's the best solution. There's already 3 bathrooms anyway. So let's just have another bathroom for transgenders and make it. There you go. But a man going into a woman's bathroom because he identifies as a woman would never, ever be acceptable to anybody like me that has values, that has morals, that's a man of God. That would never, ever be acceptable.